Go ahead and get started. Here's some other folks catching up with us. Looks like we've got a great group of folks here. This is going to be wonderful. I can't wait to get started. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Jean Dart, that science guy from the Great Lakes Science Center. Welcome to another episode of Curiosity Corner Live. Now, the events in Cleveland and around the country remind us that we all need to be present and active in our community. As a STEM-based education leader in Northeast Ohio, we want to make sure that the Science Center stays true to our vision for a community that uses science, technology, engineering, and math to inform our decision-making and to enrich our lives. Our Curiosity Corner Live programming this week has shifted its focus to reflect a more inclusive look at some STEM innovators, both from Northeast Ohio and beyond. People who personify the tenacious spirit and drive for understanding that science can inspire in anyone, regardless of their gender, their ethnicity, or their religious background. For me, as a kid growing up, my parents felt it was important for me and my sister to learn about people who looked like us, who had careers in science and technology, engineering, and math. We learned that men and women of color played key roles in nearly every scientific and medical discovery from the beginning of civilization. Reading about inventors and explorers and mathematicians who looked like me, people like Garrett Morgan, Katherine Johnson, Guy Bluford had a profound impact on my life and made me feel that I could do anything I put my mind to. These men and women were my role models, and following in their footsteps led me to an amazing career as a NASA contractor and working on some truly incredible projects. And now, through the Great Lakes Science Center, I'm in a position to share all that I've learned with all of you. Now, each day at 10:30, we'll bring you live interactive videos to give you some behind-the-scenes experiences, some fun learning opportunities, and some design challenges for you to try at home. Please make sure you subscribe because we don't want you to miss out. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Mom Engineering the Future for sharing your scale model on social media and talking about the importance of diversity in STEM and pioneers like Hattie Scott Peterson, who you learned about in our last episode. You and your crew are awesome. Now let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, robots. According to the dictionary, a robot is a machine that's capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically. Now, I'm pretty old, and when I was a kid, robots were things of science fictions. I mean, I read about them in comic books, I saw them on TV and in the movies, but today, robots are all around us. They're an important part of our lives, from automatic railroad crossing gates to elevators, even to the microwave oven right there in your house. All of these things are robots. Robots can be high tech, like an aerial drone, or they can be low tech, like a toaster. But they're all typically equipped with sensors that allow them to sense the environment around them. And they can be programmed to respond to certain sensor inputs, the way that some street lights turn on automatically when it gets dark, or how security lights at your home pop on when the sensor is triggered. Because robots can complete repetitive tasks without getting tired, we use them in manufacturing. Here in Northeast Ohio, we use them to build the cars that many of us drive and to produce the products that we use every day. Robots are even used in the medical field. In fact, we have a Da Vinci surgical robot at the Cleveland Clinic that allows doctors here in Ohio to operate on patients halfway around the world. Robots also allow us to go places that are too far or too dangerous for people to go. The Curiosity rover that's currently on Mars and the Perseverance rover that's scheduled to lift off from Mars next month are great examples of how robots help us to explore. People can't go to Mars just yet, but scientists and researchers are using robot orbiters, landers, and rovers to help us better understand Mars and to pave the way for human exploration. Robots can help us in other ways too. This is a picture of Dr. Ayanna Howard. She's a famous roboticist. And during her time at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, she designed robots to help us better understand global warming by studying the ice shelves in Antarctica. After leaving NASA, Dr. Howard became the director of human automated systems at Georgia Institute of Technology, where she focused on smart robots that can learn and interact with people. This included robot explorers from other worlds and biomedical robots for therapy. Dr. Howard also founded Zyrobotics, which makes tools and educational robots to help people and children with disabilities. She is cool and an awesome role model. Now that we've talked a little bit about robots, let's use some recycling around the house and try to design and build our own robot to help people. My next door neighbor is Julie, and Julie came up with this. She calls this a rescue bot. You know, tornadoes, hurricanes, and earthquakes, natural disasters, typically cause buildings to collapse. And she felt that a small robot like this would be able to go in through small openings, openings that were too small for people to go through, and it could drive around and it could look to rescue people who might be trapped or injured. When someone's found, it can send a signal through its antenna, letting researchers and rescuers know exactly where to dig. She says her rescue robot has lights and a camera and a sensor so it can hear if somebody is calling out for help. Very, very cool. She says that her rescue bot will be able to carry a small first aid kit and some water that will actually be able to sustain people who might be trapped until the rescuers can reach them. Now, your challenge is to come up with a robot on your own. What will it do? And how will it help people? What kind of sensors will it employ? Will it use vision sensors? Will it use sound sensors? Will it have touch sensors to help it understand the world around it? Whatever you come up with, we can't wait to see it. We want to make sure that you post it on we want to make sure that you post it on social media, and make sure that you include the hashtag StayCuriousCLE. And remember to tell us what your robot does and the types of sensors that it uses to do its work. Like I said, I can't wait to see what you come up with. I want to take a moment and say thank you for joining me today on Curiosity Corner Live. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow at 10:30 for our next episode. It's all about DNA and genetics. Until next time, be safe and stay curious.